What if the next big gangster saga takes you back to its very origins, not just geographically, but philosophically? Hangar 13 is back with Mafia, The Old Country, but this isn't the open-world experience you might expect. It's a journey deep into the brutal heart of the Mafia, where storytelling reigns supreme, perhaps even too supreme for some players. After nearly a decade, Hangar 13, the minds behind the more recent Mafia titles, bring us an all-new chapter in this beloved saga. And here's where they make their boldest move. Instead of the familiar concrete jungles of American cities, they transport us to 1900s Sicily, to the very birthplace of the Mafia as we know it. This game acts as a prequel, unearthing the brutal roots of an organization that would eventually cast a long shadow across America. You step into the dusty boots of Enzo Favara, a young man desperate to escape a life of forced labor. He stumbles into the world of a local crime family, and after they rescue him from a rival, they adopt him as one of their own. It's a classic Faustian bargain, isn't it? One life exchanged for another, filled with riches Enzo never dreamed of, but from which he can never truly escape. The loyalty he owes and the blood he spills forge a new, brutal kind of family, one he literally builds with his own hands. Now, you might think, I've seen this story before. And you have, in classics like The Godfather or Goodfellas. But just like those iconic films, it's all about the execution, and Hangar 13 executes this story brilliantly. If you love those gangster narratives, you're going to fall head over heels for The Old Country. Moving the narrative to Sicily proves a masterstroke. Western-made games rarely venture here, and Hangar 13 captures the location's essence perfectly. Its beautiful, rugged landscape isn't just scenery, it becomes a character in its own right. Imagine dusty roads, sun-drenched vineyards, distant, brooding mountains. Every beautiful vista conceals a dangerous secret. It's a land where ancient traditions clash with new violence, truly capturing the spirit of the old country. Here, characters fight for something nobler than American power or money. They fight for survival, for family honor, for protecting their land. This makes the violence deeply personal and every betrayal incredibly impactful. It's not just a war over rackets. It's a desperate struggle to preserve a way of life, however brutal. The story alone is easily one of the series' best. The characters are fantastically written, drawing you in with every single line of dialogue. It possesses a magic that makes you genuinely care for its characters, and while it starts as a slow burn, the experience is absolutely worth your time. But now, let's shift gears to the part that will likely spark the most debate, the gameplay. The Old Country carries a budget price tag, about $50 instead of the usual $70 for current-gen titles, and that suggests some areas saw cutbacks. While the world itself is large, Hangar 13 opted for a linear approach, wisely avoiding an open world just for the sake of it. The campaign runs about 9 to 11 hours, which, for a linear experience, feels like a perfect length. So, what exactly is the issue with the gameplay? Honestly, the gameplay itself isn't flawed. Sure, its third-person shooter and cover mechanics feel a bit dated, but you shouldn't expect a revolution here. It plays precisely as I expected, and I found the shooting, the cover system, and even the stealth sections enjoyable. They do not redefine the genre, nor do they need to. The developers introduce cinematic knife fights, strongly reminiscent of Uncharted 4's dynamic sword encounters, and those are genuinely a great addition. So, where does the criticism truly lie? It lies in the pacing. A significant portion of that 9 to 11 hour campaign consists of cutscenes and dialogue, often featuring those follow this character while you talk to them scenarios. Pushing forward on an analog stick hardly qualifies as gameplay, and the game unfolds this way for quite a long time. It sprinkles in a few cinematic knife fights here and there, but for the majority of the game, you're walking and talking, interspersed with cutscenes. Then, after a while, you finally get to shoot at things before being thrust back into lengthy segments where you do very little. At times, it's hard to call this a game. It definitely picks up, doing much of its heavy lifting during the third and final act. But before that, you largely watch a movie rather than play an interactive experience. You won't truly feel like you are playing a game until you are more than halfway through. Now, whether you like that kind of experience ultimately rests with you. But I personally wished for longer gameplay sections and a better balance between action and narrative. I would be lying if I said I didn't struggle to stay awake during the first few hours, and that wasn't because of the story, which is fantastic. It was because I kept wondering when I would actually get to play something. It's no exaggeration to say roughly 75% of the game consists of dialogue and cutscenes, with the rest, possibly even less, being actual gameplay like combat and stealth. I truly enjoyed the gameplay that was present, along with the cinematic moments clearly inspired by the Uncharted series. I just wanted much more of it. So, if you are a fan of the Mafia series and crave another well-written, character-driven story grounded in the brutal realism of the Mafia world, you will find so much to love here. Hangar 13 absolutely nails the story and captures the charm we adored in the original games. The move to Sicily is a brilliant choice, and the game's narrative and cinematic presentation stand among the best the franchise offers. The characters are compelling, the setting is breathtaking, and the slow-burn storytelling pays off in a deeply satisfying final act. However, on the other hand, if you expect a new Mafia game offering deep and rich gameplay systems, you will likely find yourself disappointed. While the shooting and stealth mechanics are functional and even fun at times, there simply isn't enough of them to justify the long stretches of walking, talking, and cutscenes. Ultimately, Mafia The Old Country asks us a fascinating question. How much gameplay do we truly need when the story is this captivating? And what does that mean for the future of interactive storytelling? If you enjoyed this deep dive, make sure to hit that subscribe button and let us know your thoughts in the comments or on social media. Do you prioritize story over gameplay, or do you need a perfect balance?